Hi, this is Chris Hester from the Talking Nerds, and this is Star Wars Saturday, Episode 1. Star Wars fans were treated to their first look at Solo, a Star Wars story, during the Super Bowl this past Sunday, with a 30-second sneak peek of the movie, and then a full teaser trailer debuted the following morning on ABC's Good Morning America. You can check out those links in the description below. We finally see more of a young Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Lando Calrissian. There's less than 4 months until Solo is released, and we still don't know much about it. We know that it's a Han Solo origin story, and that it will explore how he becomes friends with Chewbacca and won the Millennium Falcon away from Lando Calrissian. The movie will reportedly explore some of the most pivotal moments in Star Wars lore, like Solo's impressive feat of making the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. Director Ron Howard has been keeping fans up to date on the film through Instagram and Twitter, and Howard had tweeted out hints of what fans can expect, including a look at Han Solo's famous Kessel Run, which he famously did in under 12 parsecs, and how Solo won the Millennium Falcon away from Lando Calrissian. Howard stepped in to finish the movie after Lucasfilm parted ways with original directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller near the end of production. The studio cited creative differences as the main issue between Lucasfilm CEO Kathleen Kennedy and the creative pair. In other Solo news, Ron Howard recently mentioned that George Lucas stopped by on his first day of filming to give him some emotional support. He had intended to just kind of stop by and say hi, and he stayed 5 hours, said Lucasfilm president and longtime Lucas collaborator Kathleen Kennedy. There's even one little moment in a scene, I can't tell you what, sorry, but in a scene on the Millennium Falcon where George said, "Why doesn't Han just do this?" Howard, who also consulted with his old pal Harrison Ford on the character's backstory, now played by Aldrin Ehrenreich, ended up throwing the moment in, making Solo the first Star Wars movie in years to carry even a hint of Lucas's direct input. Solo, a Star Wars story, will be released to theaters on May 25th. They faithfully adapted and paved new ground for the Game of Thrones universe. Now they will be taking a stab at the Star Wars universe. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, executive producers of Game of Thrones, will write and produce a series of new Star Wars movies, the Walt Disney Company said on Tuesday. There were no details about the number of movies or when they would be released, but Disney did say that the Benioff and Weiss films would be separate from the Luke Skywalker universe of movies and the trilogy that Rian Johnson, the writer and director of Star Wars The Last Jedi, is working on. Mr. Benioff and Mr. Weiss said in a statement, "In the summer of 1977, we traveled to a galaxy far, far away, and we've been dreaming of it ever since. We are honored by the opportunity, a little terrified by the responsibility, and so excited to get started as soon as the final season of Game of Thrones is complete." The last Game of Thrones season will be broadcast on HBO in 2019. Earlier this week, during his promotional rounds for his direct-to-Netflix The Cloverfield Paradox, J.J. Abrams briefly commented on Star Wars Episode 9. Abrams has been working hard on the upcoming episode of Star Wars, having taken over from Colin Trevorrow as director. Asked whether he's excited about returning to the director's chair, having previously helmed The Force Awakens, Abrams said, "Very much. I'm actually going to be leaving this room and going right there. I can't wait for you to see what we're doing." So it looks like we may have some news for Star Wars Episode 9 coming up shortly. The film is slated to hit theaters in December of 2019. Issue number 3 in the Star Wars comic book line was released this week. We are at the end of The Ashes of Jedi, and despite some strange turns, this has been a worthy arc that continues to strengthen the connections of the heroes from Rogue One and A New Hope. The Empire's plans to devour what Kyber remains on Jedi has hit quite a few bumps since they descended on the ruined planet, and they are about to hit another one most unexpectedly. You can pick up Star Wars number 43 wherever comic books are sold near you. Earlier this week, during a Disney investor call, Disney executive Bob Iger briefly gave an update on the Star Wars television productions. While Iger previously announced that a live-action Star Wars series was in development for Disney's upcoming streaming service, he has now stated that there is not just one series on the way. According to Polygon, Iger said that a few Star Wars series specifically are being created for their upcoming app, and hinted that Disney could be close to making an official announcement regarding a showrunner for at least one of them. The Disney streaming app is slated for a 2019 release. And that's all for this week's Star Wars Saturday. We'll see you next week for more news on anything and everything Star Wars. If you like what you've seen today, please click on the subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter, like and follow us on Facebook, and you've been watching The Talking Nerds.